America isn't starving by accident. It's starving by design because the smartest people in the room cashed out on the basics and turned dinner into a luxury flex. While politicians stage photo ops and corporate execs count shrink instead of souls, families are driving miles for bread in the richest country on earth. Stick with me, because in this deep dive you'll learn the hidden math that's killing your local supermarket, how inflation, rent, energy, theft, and policy collide to turn whole cities into food deserts, and which warning signs in your neighborhood mean your store is next. America is entering a silent collapse. Not through war, not through disaster, through hunger. Grocery stores are vanishing at a pace we've never seen, and the map of convenience has flipped into a maze. Shelves emptied, lights off, doors chained, leaving ordinary people to spend time and fuel just to find milk. And if you think this is a glitch, it isn't. This is the system breaking in slow motion while everyone in charge swears it's fine. Here's how it's really playing out, city by city, so you can see the pattern and protect your family before your neighborhood goes dark. Number 10. Denver, Colorado. The mile-high mirage is cracking. Denver's boom towns are watching supermarkets wink out one by one. King Supers and smaller chains closing or optimizing portfolios is corporate code for cutting you off before losses spread. Prices in Colorado jumped. Labor and rent rose faster. 1 to 2% profit margins turned into red ink. Stores are eating thousands per day in shrink and spoilage, while power bills doubled since 2021. The closures aren't random. They're clustered in East Colfax, North Aurora, parts of Adams County, where a full-service store might now be 4+ miles away. Without a car, that's not an errand. It's an emergency. Dollar stores and gas stations step in with calories that cost more and nourish less. When basic retailers flee, an urban economy isn't adjusting. It's failing. Number 9. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. An industrial city that fed the Midwest can't reliably feed its own. Chains like Pick and Save and Metro Market are quietly bowing out. Costs explode, wages lag, utilities jump, shrink spikes into 5 figures a week in some locations. Executives label certain stores uninsurable. Families in North Milwaukee are traveling miles for greens. Food banks report demand surging. Poverty makes distance lethal. Dinner is no longer about taste, it's about radius. This is what social breakdown looks like from the grocery aisle outward. Number 8. Miami, Florida. The skyline glitters. The pantry empties. Miami's rents rose over 40% since 2021, and grocery margins can't survive that kind of squeeze. Insurance climbs after storm seasons, international shipping adds more cost, and the bifurcation is brutal. Luxury markets thrive in Coral Gables while Liberty City and Little Havana lose their last full-line stores. Warehouse rents spike, distribution jobs disappear, 70% import dependence magnifies every global shock. The result? A beach city priced out of feeding itself. Number 7. Washington, D.C. The capital of power can't keep produce within reach. Retail leases soar, electricity doubles, payroll surges, and wholesale prices refuse to come back to earth. Close a store in Southeast, and the bus routes suddenly end at empty lots. The food becomes processed, the diets get worse, and the health bills come due later. Kids grow up never seeing a real produce aisle, and the people who could fix it hold press conferences across town. It's not just economics. It's neglect. Number 6. Atlanta, Georgia. Economic engine of the South is stalling out where it matters most. Rents up, energy bills up, refrigeration maintenance up, margins gone. South Atlanta and DeKalb watch their last full-service markets fade, while closed grocery shelves become storage units and luxury gyms, monuments to a city that serves the top while starving the rest. Rideshares eat the grocery budget. Hospitals see the downstream cost in diabetes and hypertension. When a city can't connect its people to vegetables, it's not growing. It's hollowing. Number 5. Minneapolis, Minnesota. A most livable brand collides with the least livable reality, food access. Operating costs jump by a third, shipments cost more. Wages and inflation squeeze what little margin existed. North Minneapolis sees half of residents more than 2 miles from a real store. Families spend an absurd share of income just to access food, not to buy it, just to reach it. Empty anchors breed crime. Tiny shops triple prices or die. The nutritional divide hardens into a city map of who gets fresh produce and who gets shelf-stable sugar. Number 4. Chicago, Illinois. The skyline still shines, but the south and west sides are starving in silence. Costs up 40% in 4 years. Utilities overwhelming. Insurance doubling. Staple goods 30% higher. A grocery desert isn't a metaphor when your bus ride for apples takes an hour and $50. Close the stores and you close the jobs. Close the jobs and you close the hope. Then crime fills the vacuum and the cycle cements. Number 3, Houston, Texas. The energy capital is out of energy where it counts, feeding people. Sprawl magnifies every failure. Longer distances, pricier logistics, refrigerated transport bleeding money as fuel costs rise. Stores retreat, corridors die, small retailers can't afford to step in, neighborhoods become islands. A city built for cars discovers you can't DoorDash your way out of a food desert if no one can profitably keep a store alive. Number 2, Los Angeles, California. Glamour on top, hunger underneath. Energy bills that can crush a quarter's profit in a month. Rents up 50% since 2020. Insurance ballooning with every claim. Wealthy districts glide through gourmet aisles while South LA counts bus stops to the nearest produce. Delivery apps? That's a tax on the poor, fees, markups, and a phone that might not have a data plan. When hundreds of thousands get pushed toward fast food and canned calories, public health nosedives and the bill lands in ERs, not balance sheets. Number 1, Seattle, Washington. The tech capital runs on code and cold brew until the bread aisle vanishes. With store closures stacking up, South Seattle turns grocery runs into survival missions. Energy and rent costs spike, shrink triples, margins evaporate. The cruelest image in American cities is a boutique cafe opening next to a shuttered supermarket. Lattes for some, hunger for others. That's not innovation. That's abandonment in a hoodie. Oh, what's actually happening under the hood? Here's the playbook nobody explains. Our razor-thin margins. Most grocery stores live on 1 to 2%. Nudge energy, rent, wages, insurance, or shrink in the wrong direction and profit flips to loss. Fast. Cascading fixed costs. Refrigeration doesn't get cheaper because sales dip. Cold cases burn power whether 10 people shop or 100. Insurance and shrink loops. Theft rises, claims rise, premiums spike, staffing and security rise, raising prices, which drives more theft. It's a doom spiral. Portfolio optimization. Corporate spreadsheets prune underperformers, which concentrates demand farther away, making the remaining stores more brittle and the abandoned neighborhoods more desperate. The optics trap. Politicians scold corporate greed, while zoning, fees, and energy policy quietly tax every perishable item in the building. Execs blame crime. Consumers blame prices. Everyone's right and wrong because the math doesn't care who you roast. How do you know your area is next? Watch for these 4 signals: a sudden drop in fresh SKUs, shorter hours that never return, locked cases creeping from razors to detergent to cheese, and temporary closures for remodels that drag on with no permits in the window. When you see 2 or more at once, your store is already on the spreadsheet. What can communities do when the spreadsheet says cut? You can't wish margins back, but you can change the math. Shared security co-ops across multiple nearby stores, targeted tax relief on refrigeration power loads, expedited permits for small-format fresh produce markets, public-private cold chain hubs that cut last-mile costs, and transit alignment, bus lines that actually end at the food, not 2 blocks shy. None of this is glamorous. All of it is cheaper than treating the diseases that follow a city of chips and soda. Here's the part nobody in power wants to admit. Hunger in America isn't a supply problem. It's an access problem and an incentive problem. We grow plenty. We move plenty. But we price, insure, and regulate fresh food like a luxury good while pretending it's a public good. Then we act shocked when the public loses it. If you're watching from Denver, Milwaukee, Miami, DC, Atlanta, Minneapolis, Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles, or Seattle, you're already living this countdown. If you're somewhere else, the map is coming for you unless someone rewrites the economics of keeping lettuce cold and bread close. Here's what you'll walk away with after this video: the exact pressure points that kill a store, the early warning signs in your neighborhood, and the 5 levers that actually move the needle. Because this collapse isn't loud. It's silent. And by the time you hear it, the doors are locked.